we're finally going to talk about the final Black Sabbath album, maybe, called 13. 13 is a very, very important Black Sabbath album because it is the very first metal album of all time. The album is called 13 and the artwork is 13 on fire because it came out in 2013. You're such an original motherfucker, Rick Rubin. This also sees the reunited classic Black Sabbath lineup with the awesome Ozzy Osbourne returning, delivering some incredible vocals on here that are definitely not auto-tuned at all. We have Geezer Butler that delivers incredible bass solos on the entire album. Tony Iommi, the riff master, delivers some of his most tasty riffs of all time that'll influence the entire metal scene. Then of course they finally got back the awesome drummer that helped form the band, Brad Wilk. Brad Wilk is so unorthodox and his drumming is amazing, and he is a very underrated member of the band, and they kind of treat him like shit all the time. I'm so glad they got rid of that stupid pedestrian fuck known as Bill Ward. Bill Ward never went to your birthday party like Brad Wilk did Ozzy, and Ozzy was being such a dick to him all the time and saying that he couldn't deliver live. Well, now they finally got Brad Wilk back in the band. They also had some other drummers during Brad Wilk's absence, like Eric Singer, who of course you will know is from the classic lineup of Kiss back in the 70s with Tommy Thayer. But now Kiss is a total abomination, as you know, with those two scab members, Ass Frehley and Cheater Chris. Oh, and the production of this album was done by Rick Rubin, who does an incredible production. The production is very, very lo-fi and hard to hear, but it's so raw and incredible. So the first song on the album is very important because this is the very first metal song of all time, end of the beginning. And the story with this is that Tony Iommi had his fingers chopped off in an accident, so he had to down-tune his guitar and make makeshift fingertips and stuff. So that's how they got the heavy sound to make metal. And then he also played this cool interval called the Devil's Interval, or the tritone, which was banned in medieval times. And that tritone would go on to form heavy metal. And this song is the first metal song. The lyrics are made by Ozzy Osbourne because it was inspired by a dream Geezer Butler had. And Geezer Butler was a Satanist at the time. They explored black magic and stuff. And one night he woke up and saw a black figure at the end of his bed. And this inspired Ozzy to write the song End of the Beginning. The song's very doomy. It's an absolute classic. And then after all the creepy shit with the thunder and everything, then the song gets speeding up again. You hear some really incredible drumming from Brad Wilk, delivering this weird blast beat sort of sounding thing with a jazz style. And not many people talk about Brad Wilk, but he's such an influential drummer to every single metal band. Then we had the song God is Dead, which is about Vietnam soldiers returning from Vietnam, having PTSD and stuff. And then there's this part where it speeds up later, which is really, really classic with this great riff. And fucking Tony Iommi totally rips it off later down the line with that stupid song called Fairies Wear Boots. He should quit ripping himself off with those songs, dude. Come on, this is the classic shit, where it's at, you know. God is Dead, probably the best song of the entire album. It's so original and unique. Then we have an interesting song called Loner, which starts with a bass solo called Basically, where you hear Geezer Butler doing this really cool bass solo. It's very, 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 very bluesy. And then it goes right into this really cool song. It's an absolute Black Sabbath classic. Everyone remembers that riff, you know, and the oh yes from Ozzy are really cool. I mean, metal hadn't really heard an awesome heavy grooving sound like that until Loner came around. And a lot of people think the name Loner means nativity in black, but it really stands for Bill Ward's little weird beard he used to have. And then we have the song Zeitgeist, which is really, really unique. This has never been done before. This song is like a stoner rock song that has a very, very lo-fi sound to it. And Ozzy delivers these weird vocals that sound very, very low in the mix. and not distorted at all. He sounds very bizarre, and some people used to think it was Bill Ward singing on here, kind of like how people think Bill Ward sings Solitude. But once again, songs like Solitude and Planet Caravan are total rip-offs of this song Zeitgeist. I mean, they even rip off the jazzy guitar solo at the end that sounds the exact same. Like, come on, dude. Get original. Probably the best and most unique song off the entire album. Then you have Age of Reason, which is, a lot of people say, it's the best song off the album, and it is very forgettable. And, I mean, they don't even rip it off later down the road, so, I mean, that says a lot for this song. Now we have the song Live Forever, which is a very interesting song. It has a lot of crazy, intricate technical stuff with like the drumming and stuff. And Brad Wilk had a really hard time drumming this song, and it took them the longest time to do it. And then when he finally nailed it, the rest of the band was pissed off. He thought he was going to get fired and stuff. When it starts getting fast, that drumming is really technical and crazy. I mean, this was also during the era where they were fucked up on drugs in LA and stuff, so I mean, it was hard for him to nail solid drum performance like this, but he really nailed it. And of course, they totally rip it off later down the road with that in that one song, Cornucopia. Then we have the song Damaged Soul, which is considered an absolute Black Sabbath classic. It starts with this weird acoustic thing called Embryo that's really annoying, but then when it gets into it, it has that awesome chug to it. Dun, 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 and then it blasts into this awesome song. Probably my favorite Black Sabbath song ever, Damaged Soul, and then they totally rip it off later down the road. He just ran out of interesting riffs, and this is their absolute most original album. You know, how can you follow up an album, though, like 13? It's just so original and amazing. And then you have the song Dear Father, which is very forgettable. Once again, they wouldn't even rip this song off down the road. The riff is just kind of forgettable, but hey, you know, you have to have a couple weak spots in a classic, amazing album like this. So there we go, 13. There's a lot of bonus tracks, but they're not interesting because bonus tracks are stupid. But I hope this isn't Black Sabbath's final album, because I really want to hear another incredibly awesome and amazingly diverse and original sounding album like 13 again. And it pisses me off that a lot of people in their reviews of this album when it came out, they smashed on it and then never mentioned how original this album was, dude. It's just so original. They haven't done anything like this before. So I give this album a 10 out of 10. It's the first metal album ever. It's incredible. And fuck you, Bill Ward. Brad Wilk is the best drummer ever.